Title: Taylor Swift breaks down in tears after Travis Kelce's unforgettable Christmas promise. The snow fell gently outside Taylor Swift's Nashville home, blanketing the city in a winter wonderland. Inside, Taylor was busy putting the final touches on her Christmas decorations. The smell of pine and cinnamon filled the air as soft carols played in the background. Despite the warmth and cheer, her heart felt heavy. Taylor had been dating Travis Kelce for months now, and while their relationship was a fairy tale in the public eye, she couldn't shake her insecurities. She had been through public heartbreaks before, and the fear of history repeating itself lingered. That evening, Travis arrived at her home, carrying a large, wrapped gift and his trademark smile. Taylor greeted him, but he could sense something was off. "You okay, babe?" he asked, pulling her into a hug. Taylor nodded, forcing a smile. "Yeah, just tired. It's been a long week." Travis didn't press further. Instead, he reached into his pocket and handed her a small envelope. "Before anything else, I want you to open this," he said, his eyes twinkling. Taylor hesitated, then carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. She began to read. Taylor. "From the moment I met you, I knew you were extraordinary. Not just because of your talent or your success, but because of your heart. You've taught me what it means to love selflessly, to dream fearlessly, and to believe in magic again. This Christmas, I want to make you a promise, not for the cameras, not for the fans, but for us. I promise to stand by you, no matter what storms come our way. I promise to cherish every moment we share, from the grand adventures to the quiet mornings. But most importantly, I promise to be your home, your safe space, and your biggest fan. You deserve nothing less. With all my love. Travis *. As Taylor finished reading, her hands trembled, and tears streamed down her face. She looked up at Travis, who was now on one knee, holding a small box. Inside the box was a delicate silver charm, a miniature guitar intertwined with a football. It wasn't an engagement ring, but it spoke volumes about their journey together. "I'm not proposing yet," Travis said, his voice soft but steady. "But I wanted to give you this to symbolize how much you mean to me. Every melody you create, every play I make, it's all part of our story now. And I promise to make this the happiest chapter of your life." Taylor dropped to her knees, wrapping her arms around him as sobs escaped her. "You always know exactly what to say," she whispered. The two stayed there, wrapped in each other's arms, as the fire crackled and the snow continued to fall. For Taylor, it was a Christmas she would never forget, one filled with love, promises, and the kind of magic she had only written about in her songs. Title: Taylor Swift breaks down to tears after Travis makes unforgettable Christmas promise. It was Christmas Eve in the cozy, snow-covered town of Kansas City, where the lights on the houses twinkled like little stars, and the air smelled of pine trees and fresh cookies. Inside a beautifully decorated home, the fire crackled softly in the hearth, and the warmth spread through the room, contrasting the winter chill outside. Taylor Swift, known for her grace and composed demeanor, sat quietly on the plush couch, sipping hot cocoa. Her golden curls framed her face, and her eyes sparkled with a soft joy. Yet, there was something different about tonight. Something deeper, more vulnerable, and Taylor couldn't quite place it. Travis Kelce, her boyfriend, was in the kitchen, putting the finishing touches on a Christmas dinner. As she watched him, Taylor couldn't help but admire the way his strong hands moved with precision and care. There was a tenderness in him that she had come to cherish, something that was so rare in the chaotic world they both inhabited. "All done," Travis announced, walking over to the couch, a grin spreading across his face. He sat beside Taylor, his presence comforting, like a gentle anchor in a sea of constant change. Taylor smiled at him, but there was a heaviness in her chest that she couldn't shake. Christmas had always been a time for family, for peace, and for remembering what truly mattered. But this year, despite everything that had gone well in her life, something felt missing. Travis noticed the subtle change in her expression. "Hey, you okay?" he asked, his deep voice soft and full of concern. Taylor hesitated for a moment before answering. "I don't know. I guess I've just been thinking a lot. About the future, about what happens next. I always try to be strong and have everything under control, but sometimes it feels like everything is slipping through my fingers." Travis took her hand in his thumb gently brushing across her knuckles. "You're not alone in this, Tay. You never have to be. I'm right here with you, through everything." Taylor's eyes filled with tears, though she quickly blinked them away. She wasn't used to being this vulnerable, even with someone as understanding as Travis. He noticed the silent tears threatening to fall and gently cupped her face in his large hands, making her look up at him. "Listen," he said, his voice taking on a serious, yet tender tone. "I want you to know that no matter what, I will always be here for you. And if there's one thing I can promise you this Christmas, it's this: I will always have your back. I will be the man who listens, who supports you, and who loves you more than anything else in this world." The weight of his words, the sincerity in his eyes, hit Taylor like a wave. She had never felt so seen, so cared for, and the emotion she had been holding in all this time suddenly came rushing to the surface. Before she knew it, tears began to spill down her cheeks, each one a release of the pressure she had carried alone for so long. She hadn't expected the promise to affect her this deeply, but it did. Travis, who had always been the strong and steady presence in her life, had just given her a promise that went beyond words. A promise that, no matter how hard things got, he would stand by her side. I don't know what to say," she whispered, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. "You don't have to say anything," Travis replied, his voice gentle but firm. "Just know that I'm here. And I always will be." As they sat there in the glow of the firelight, Taylor's heart swelled with a newfound peace. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel like she had to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders alone. In that moment, with the snow falling outside and the Christmas lights flickering softly, Taylor knew that this was the kind of love she had been waiting for. A love that would never falter. And with that, she leaned into Travis, her heart full, and let herself cry, not out of sadness, but out of relief. Because sometimes, the greatest gifts weren't the ones wrapped in boxes, but the promises made with the heart. And for Taylor, Travis' promise was the most unforgettable Christmas gift of all. Title: Taylor Swift breaks down to tears after Travis makes unforgettable Christmas promise. It was a snowy Christmas Eve in Kansas City, and the entire city seemed to be wrapped in a blanket of soft white, with the lights on Main Street twinkling like tiny stars. Inside the cozy, beautifully decorated home that Travis Kelce shared with his family, the warmth of the fireplace crackled, filling the air with a comforting glow. Taylor Swift had spent the past few days in Kansas City, escaping the whirlwind of her world tours and the media frenzy surrounding her relationship with Travis. Despite their growing connection, this Christmas was supposed to be just about family, peace, and quiet. But as the evening wore on, the world outside seemed to fade away, leaving only the two of them together in this magical moment. The family was gathered around the tree, laughter and love filling the air as they exchanged gifts. But Taylor couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty. The press had painted her relationship with Travis as the perfect fairy tale, but Taylor knew the world was watching, waiting for it to unravel. She had been hurt before, in relationships where the magic faded all too quickly. As the night progressed, Travis noticed that something seemed off. Taylor, usually radiant and joyful, was quieter than usual, her eyes betraying an emotion she was trying to hide. He pulled her aside, away from the family, to the quiet balcony that overlooked the snowy yard. The soft crunch of snow beneath their boots was the only sound in the cool, crisp air. "Tay, talk to me. I can tell something's bothering you," Travis said gently, his hand brushing against hers. Taylor hesitated. She wanted to be strong, to show him that she could handle everything, the media, the expectations, the pressure. But something inside her broke. She turned to face him, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I'm scared, Travis," she whispered. "I've been hurt so many times before, and I don't want to let myself fall again, not if it's going to end in heartbreak." Travis's heart clenched as he reached for her hands, holding them firmly in his own. He looked into her eyes, his voice low and sincere. "Tay, I'm not going anywhere. You're not alone in this. I promise you, this isn't just a holiday fling or some media circus. I'm here for the long haul. I know the world sees us as this perfect couple, but for me, it's not about what the world thinks. It's about you and me. I want to build something real, something that lasts, and I will always fight for us." Taylor felt the weight of his words, the raw honesty in his voice, and for the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to believe in the possibility of love again. And, Travis continued, his voice becoming more tender, this Christmas, I'm making you a promise. I promise that no matter what comes our way, no matter how hard things get, I will never give up on us. I'll be your rock. I'll always choose you. You'll never have to face anything alone. The tears that had been threatening to spill finally broke free, streaming down her cheeks as Taylor collapsed into his arms. She had spent so much of her life keeping her emotions locked away, but in that moment, with Travis holding her close, she allowed herself to feel vulnerable, to trust again. I believe you, she whispered through her tears. The world outside continued to spin, but for Taylor and Travis, everything stood still in that moment, wrapped in the warmth of their shared promise. A promise that would be remembered, not just as a Christmas gift, but as a vow to love and cherish each other through whatever life threw their way. As the snow continued to fall, the two of them stood together on that balcony, the soft glow of Christmas lights shining down, and for the first time in a long time, Taylor truly believed in the magic of love.